Thanks, Ken. Well, next, the story about some ladies who got together at a senior center to do some arts and crafts. Nothing extraordinary there, right? Well, what resulted was a creative and fun way to raise funds for the center, making cards and beautiful friendships. Here's Rob Wiles to meet a group called the Card Crusaders.
So, some folks from the Martin Center in Brentwood are headed off on a field trip this morning, got the bus out and all fired up, going to downtown Nashville. Now, they could thank a group of ladies here for the field trip and for that bus in particular. A group of very colorful crusaders. You'll hear sounds like that a lot when the Card Crusaders are at work in one of the arts and crafts rooms at the Martin 50 Forward Center in Brentwood. They started out learning how to make cards, but their teacher, Judy Chilton, says it's much more than that now.
So they proposed a class, had about 4 people sign up for it. So I told them, well, it'll probably take about 2 hours. So they came and they stayed all day long. They didn't want to go home. They had so much fun, so they said, please do another one. So the next time we had about 8 women come, and they stayed all day long. And so we were making all these cards, and we didn't know what are we going to do with them. So one of our members, Marilyn, proposed that we make Christmas cards. I had told him I know how to do those, and we'll sell them. And we need money to buy a bus, so we'll sell these cards and at least help out a little bit. So that's where it started. And we've just gone up, we're up to now, we've been here not quite 3 years, and we have raised almost $40,000.
Which the center put to good use.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
This bus and the wheels on it that go round and round were partially paid for by the Card Crusaders' work. But Center Program Director Sherry Koss says that's not all.
$4 cards have raised $38,000 for the center. They bought a flat screen TV, they've helped us with a deposit for the bus, they helped us repave the parking lot outside. It just goes on and on and on.
People buy the cards, of course, because they're beautiful and unique creations. Iris paper folding. Judy Chilton taught the ladies.
It goes in a pattern, a spiral pattern, so it makes an iris, the eye in the middle, and that's what it's called, iris paper. People mistake it for Irish, but it's not, it's iris. And it works like the lens of your camera or your eye, the pupil of your eye that goes around in a circle. And it's put on the pattern we start out with cardstock, we cut it to size. We were having to cut all the patterns with an X-Acto knife, which almost ruined our hands. But now we have a silhouette machine that'll cut things for us. But we buy scrapbooking paper, we cut them into strips, and then we place these strips on there.
Each lady does a specific task on each card. They jokingly call this their sweatshop, but then they joke about, well, everything.
Well, they get kind of rowdy sometimes. They're old, but they're not dead. We have a good time. It's the camaraderie that we have as a group that just, if one lady doesn't come for a week, we find out where she's at and why she hadn't been there.
Marilyn Nevins is a Card Crusader. Now, if I told you her age, you wouldn't believe me, so I'm going to be polite and not tell you. She looks and acts so young. Having good friends can have that effect on you.
These group of women here, we call ourselves girls in quotation mark. We've become friends. We sit here and we talk. You have no idea the conversations that go on in this room. and we've become friends. We look out for each other if somebody isn't here. We want to know what's happened to them, and we try to keep in contact with them that way. We started out with the class, and it got so it was running over time. We would stay all day, so we start bringing our lunches, and so now we're here practically all day like that. And the girls keep coming and going at their time. You know, if they have an appointment or something, they do leave. We call this our sweatshop. And it's just a nice bunch of gals here.
They watch out for each other, brighten each other's spirits, and the spirits of those they come in contact with, like Sherry Koss, who says when she's having a down day, a trip into the Card Crusaders sweatshop can perk her right up.
It's a community, it's a network of friends that you want at any age, and I think that's what we do here at 50 Forward Martin Center. We connect people through every program you see. It's like a support group, and they bloom. I had one lady say, one of the Card Crusaders, I was so terrified to come through the door, but once I did and I found these ladies, she said, I found my wings. Sorry. So that's what they do, and it's just a network that you want at 20, 40, or 90.
The cards they create are wonderful gifts, but friendship now, that is truly a blessing.